Good day and welcome to this week's edition of Tourismus Namibia, the show where we bring you a couple of topics. We have a number of destinations that we want to introduce you to, and then obviously at the end we still have an item under To The Point. But my name is Frank Steffen. I will be leading you through the show, and first up is obviously topics. Topics it is, and the first topic that we've got today is Ultimate Safaris. And so Ultimate Safaris is a multi-award winning Namibian safari company headquartered in Windhoek. And as it says, it's blazing a trail to renewal and recovery after combating the disastrous effects of COVID-19 on the global tourism industry. And it has consistently put people before profits, as it has said, especially over the past 3 years. It's a strategy to protect livelihoods, conservation projects, and business that depend on tourism, which is now reopening or reaping handsome benefits for everybody. So I simply copied that video of theirs just to show how they prepare for when people come. But when I read their story, I realized that we need to do more to promote tour operators on this show. So watch the space. I'll be coming up with a couple of ideas there. But so what makes Ultimate Safari so different and worth mentioning on a show such as this one? And it's the following, because what I picked up, they've publicly committed by announcing that all of their staff will be back on 100% of their pay as from April. But then they've also gone, and while their staff has been on a pension plan since 2019, Ultimate Safaris has now placed every single member on a private medical aid scheme. As from 1st of March, and it's paid by the company, and it has everybody covered, from cleaners to mechanics to guides to sales staff to managers and directors. And then finally what makes it worthwhile is they've just donated 2.5% of their shareholding to what they said is a newly formed Ultimate Safaris Tribe Benefit Trust. And so what will effectively happen is that the staff members will now become shareholders in effect. It only applies to people that are there for longer than 10 years, but at the end of the day, that's already 10% of the staff complement. So actually it's quite a nice little news item. So I felt we need to talk about such items. I find it hugely welcome that they're publicly announcing that they'll be paying their people in full. It's something that the tour operators and actually the tourism industry should play more openly, because obviously they had to go down with their salaries at one stage. Most of them had to, at least. So this is good news and they should share it. I feel so. Right, classic cars it is. Then there's a second item that I've checked up for you. And so in Lüderitz during this week you saw 6 classic cars drive into town. That was on the past Wednesday. It was a 1972 Ford Mustang Mach 1, a 1981 Chevy Corvette, a 1965 Ford Fairline, and 2 Chevy Camaros, a 71 and a 77, and then finally a 1969 Buick Riviera. Now the photos are obviously not the best because they were quickly made with a normal cell phone. But it was interesting because these cars are part of the first Omaruru Classic Cars road trip, which is led by Simon van Zyl, who made these pictures available, who for years did the so-called diamond run to Lüderitz as a member of the motorbike club Live to Ride. And so this always resulted in a donation being given to the Hermine Offen nursing home. So it's for the old aged in the town. And then there was always the Helping Hand nursing home in Nautilus, which is the settlement just outside. So this initiative has now been basically sustained with these 6 vintage cars, and so Van Zyl will be doing this regularly. The cars left Walvis Bay on their way to Omaruru and then drove via Windhoek and Keetmans to Lüderitz. So clearly a well-done initiative, and clearly you can see as the people get older, bikes is not the ultimate answer for a long trip, but now they do it in a different way. Still raising money for people who are less advantaged, have less opportunities in life than others. Anyway, well done to them. Up next, we've got destinations. Yeah, welcome back, and it's destinations this time, and obviously under destinations we always have different ideas that we introduce to you, and this week the interesting part was carvers. Now, as always people speak about you having to get carved goods and whatever. Here in Walvis Bay you can actually find them quite close to the yacht club. As you come out of the harbour area, they're indicated with that red little line. It's as you come out of the harbour, and they've settled there. And my colleague Nikano Nangolo spoke to Yuma Kawa, he's a 25-year-old, and Claude Salumu, who's a 27-year-old person who, they are both wood carvers, hailing from the Democratic Republic of the Congo, DRC as we know. And they make a living by selling a range of wooden-made carvings and products for tourists around the harbour area. Just have a look at the video.
Hello viewers, I'm in the company of two brothers. Please introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name is Juma.
And your name is?
Yeah, my name is Cloud.
Okay, and they are wood carvers here in Walvis Bay. How are you doing, guys?
Just great, my brother.
Okay. And how are you doing, man?
We are cool.
Okay. We're here at the site and we just want to know that how is business doing this time of the year?
Yeah, you know the problem of maybe you know our business is usually is using to go with the moment. Yeah, but in this moment is the tough time to us.
And then it starts to pick up.
Yeah.
And how was your December for you?
Oh, my December for real, it was a tough time. Yeah, because it was a very dry season most. So like he told you, my brother, so we're just waiting for the March. Maybe we receive too much tourists, then maybe something can get better, bro.
Okay. And now, where do you guys decide? Do you have a designated place where you sell, or do you move around from time to time?
Yeah, we used to come and sell here, but usually we used to stay in Swakop. We have a shop in Swakop. Yeah, when we hear about the ships, that's why we used to run and come this side.
Okay, because of potential customers.
Yeah.
Okay. And how long are you guys been, or when did you start
Or to come here?
the business itself? Was this wood carving?
I didn't get it.
Yeah, I'm asking the business of this carving itself. You know, like when did you start carving?
Oh, I started carving when I was very young, because this business like my father was doing. So when I was a kid, I used to see my father what he was doing. So I get an experience from what I was seeing. Yeah.
And for you, when did you start?
This one, I did not start long time, but it was last year.
And what was your first item that you made?
Normally I used to make those bracelets, necklace, that's all.
And for you?
Normally I used to do some bowls, yeah, with the salad spoons there. Yeah.
And now, for this business now, getting now to the more serious stuff, what would you say are some of your challenges that you face?
Some of our
Yeah, it can be financially or maybe be getting raw materials. Yeah, what are some of, okay? What are some of the challenges that you face?
Some of the challenges that we face, sometimes like you know, like in Namibia, our country is very dry country, so we don't receive too much rain. So also to get the wood is very difficult. Yeah, and also sometimes the customers, yeah, they are not actually. Most of the time you can make a sale because it's having a season, this type of work. Yeah.
And now, going forward, do you have like some plans that you would like to achieve yourself in the future?
Yeah, I got some plans that I want to achieve it.
Like maybe do you want to own your own shop one day where you just have your antique, your items, where you're selling your items?
Yeah, I want to become someday my own boss.
Your own boss?
Yeah.
Having guys work for you?
Yeah, having guys working for me.
Okay. Okay, now in terms of help from maybe the other business communities or the government, what help would you guys like to get?
Yeah, maybe the government they can help us to accommodate us with something like when you see tourism when they are coming in the country, they can elect them the place where they put their craft. Yeah.
Okay. And now, finally, my guy, is there any message that you'd like to share with maybe your fellow, your fellow crafts men?
Yeah, there's a message I want to share with my fellow craftsmen. it's all about let's work together. Yeah, because when you work together, it brings happiness, and happiness it brings joys. So like when you are working, it need togetherness, something like that. Yeah.
Okay. And do you have any message for maybe the viewers out there? Maybe it's the government, maybe it's a potential investor, or maybe just your fellow craftsmen. Any message that you'd like to share?
Any message? Yeah, for me, I think like for any message to tell who is local man this time is to focus in life. Yeah, to focus in life is the whole things we can do. Yeah. Also, our government, they can help us even to accommodate us, something like let me say, maybe especially in this side of Walvis Bay. Yeah, we are getting hard time for us to be like this. Some customers, they are just passing by, they are not buying, but it's better when they are coming because most of the time buses, they are just coming inside and get the customer out, they are going. Yeah, like that we lose everything.
So the customers don't even have the time to stop here,
They having the time, but the problem is these cars. They used to come and get them.
The shuttles,
Yeah.
the shuttle guys.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for your time and all the best. Cheers.
Right, and that was Nangolo, Nikano Nangolo, who brought us that one, something different for a change. Just shows you that these guys have had quite a hard time and they deserve to be supported. Up next, we've got the Belvedere Boutique Hotel, and that's in Windhoek, in Ludwigsdorp area. So here you see Klein Windhoek on the left-hand side, and then you would go deep into Ludwigsdorp to get to the Belvedere Boutique Hotel. So anyway, Belvedere Boutique Hotel offers a calm and clean location to relax, host events, or simply to provide an accommodation of choice. So the hotel in Windhoek is an upmarket sanctuary for the modern day traveller, situated obviously in Ludwigsdorp, which is upper market anyway. And the hotel comprises of 18 individualized rooms, which are equipped for both the business traveller and tourist, with modern and ancient furniture mixed to accommodate the young and the old. So the team aims to provide a home away from home experience and further strives to match the elegance of its surroundings with personalized service and a can-do attitude. And as you can see there, very nice nice place to go and stay at. But we've got a video for you. Have a look.
Hi everybody, thank you for joining me once again on Tourismus. Now today we are visiting the beautiful Belvedere Boutique Hotel, and we are so stoked to see what's exciting, and we're going to speak to the manager. They're going to tell us all about this beautiful establishment. As you can see behind me, it's a beautiful building. It's not just white, my favorite color, but it's also giving that earthy, soothing feeling that we do love to see here. Now let's have a look inside.
I'm Irene van Stahl, I'm manager at Belvedere Boutique Hotel.
Alright, so manager, how did this come about and how did your journey here begin?
It started about 13 years ago already.
Oh, wow.
I studied hospitality and catering in Stellenbosch. Then I started working at the then known Fresh and Wild when everything started for them there. I was there about 3 years, and then the late owner, Mrs. Daven, contacted me to ask if I can join Belvedere.
Oh wow, okay. So Belvedere, what is the history of this beautiful place?
It started off as a small family sort of place. They wanted to add a few extra rooms just to make space for extra guests and family and friends. And everything basically just started, got the ball rolling from there. So they decided to add another room, and eventually it became a guest house. Things went well, and by the time that I joined the family, they were busy with that property on that side, doing the foundations already, adding the 9 extra rooms. Yes, and that's how we got 18 rooms today, and then Belvedere Guest House changed to Belvedere Boutique Hotel.
Alright, so tell us a little bit about the rooms. How do they look like?
Each room sort of has its own rustic vibe, a bit of own feel and texture. So again, the late owners spend a lot of time with decorations. They traveled a lot, so each room has got something specific from where they shop, a bit in South Africa, a bit overseas. So the newer 9 rooms has got a specific feel, more upmarket and contemporary, where the older rooms has got a bit of more of a homey feel, It doesn't feel like you're in a guest house, it just feels like you're back in your home.
Amazing. So which one is your favorite?
I've actually stayed in 1 or 2 of them when need be, when you have to maybe stay here and watch the dogs or something that comes up. And I must say I like the older room type. I don't know why. They're a bit more private. The others are a bit more to the street side, where the gate is the main entrance. But it just it depends what your the mood is, I almost want to say. But they're all very nice. There's not really one specific favorite that I can mention.
Definitely. Thank you so much for that great description. So what are some of the amenities that you can expect if I'm a visitor and I would like to stay here for a few days? What are some of the great things I should look out for?
So here at the back is actually, which interests a lot of the corporate guys, is our 2 putting greens. So they'll spend countless hours, practicing their putting.
Oh.
We've got the biggest swimming pool here at the back, and then we've got the small splash pool there in front. However, some people normally think that's the only pool we have until they reach this side. We've got a tennis court that can be used. So we've got balls and rackets that can be used. And then we've got just, like a lot of little sitting areas and nooks and little places where you can just, come sit comfy on the couch and grab a coffee, or late afternoon sundowner with a glass of wine. So it's a very peaceful, tranquil environment, and that's normally what we try and sort of also get through to the guests, that it's really peaceful and quiet, and that's what we do.
So my birthday is coming up now in Feb, and I'd like to know, what are some of the offerings that you have? Can I have a birthday party here? Can I host my wedding here, my engagement party maybe?
Yeah, so we basically, let's say in the middle of COVID, unfortunately, we started thinking about hosting like small intimate events, because the areas are quite small, you can't take more than 20 people, so it's really something small. So we do cater for baby showers, bridal showers, and then, yes, we have wedding packages, also again for your small intimate weddings. It's just we always try and also take the guests staying here, always to keep them into consideration. Because again, we like to keep that peaceful, tranquil, setting going. But yes, we are open for the smaller events.
Amazing. I'm hearing good news. I'm hearing good news. But also to close off, where can we find you guys?
So we are situated at number 76, Dr. Kwame and Nkrumah Street. On some old Google Maps, I'm not sure, it is still either known as Geffen Street or Mission Road. And then we're always, available on the website and Facebook and Instagram to give us a contact.
I mean, this is one of the greatest establishments I've visited this year. The year just began, and I'm so excited for the great things that we'll see here on Tourismus. Now, if you have not seen all the great amenities, the calming sounds, the beautiful views, and the great things that they have going on here at Belvedere Boutique Hotel, I think you need to make a stop yourself and come see the great stuff that I'm talking about. But come on guys, let's have a look at the next establishment that we'll see in our next episode. I'll see you guys again.
Right, and that was done by Wynand. She's my colleague, and she obviously went out to have a look at Belvedere Boutique Hotel, something different for a change. But up next, we've got to the point. Yes, and today we've got something different. If you look at Ludwigsdorf and Windhoek, where we just had the Belvedere Boutique Hotel, you will see there was a start of an idea way back when Stahl and Wynand had a look. Just have a look at this little video that shows you how the whole idea came about. They years ago revamped that power station or substation, and just down the road is a bus stop, hidden just behind these vehicles. But it was quite interesting. So Stahl and Wynand Lens, they always went past the place and they said, why do we always wait for somebody else to do something? Why don't we do it ourselves? So have a look at this video. Right, we are here at a bus stop in Kwame Nkrumah Street, that is in Ludwigsdorf, and then on the right in the picture you see Stahl, and on the left you have, I always forgot your name, I'm sorry, Wynand Lens.
Yes.
And so, yeah, welcome to Tourismus Namibia show, and obviously we want to talk about this bus stop. So tell me a bit more, how did it come about?
Well, thanks. So we've got it just looked really ugly, you know. It hasn't been maintained for quite a few years, and we live in the area, so we want to make it a little bit nicer looking. So we came around and we saw the state of it and just decided that somebody has to do something, and and she said, well, that somebody's going to have to be us. And we got together, got some paint together, and had an idea of what we wanted to paint, and just jumped right at it.
Yeah, and I think it's a superb idea, but what is the next step now? Do you think you will keep doing this, or will you look at different ideas?
I think we'll keep on doing it. It's such a good idea, you know. There's a couple of bus stops and substations around that could maybe do with a new facelift. Obviously, you know, it's if it looks fine, we're going to leave it alone. But if it's an eyesore, and these two, this bus stop and the substation up the road, the Conrad Brest substation, was genuinely a terrible eyesore for every single person that drove past, and you know, people would comment on it about how ugly it looked. People would comment on how ugly it looked. So so I think we did something nice here, and we will definitely continue in making.
Clearly you realized that you guys wouldn't climb on the bus, no? Yeah, but what does it mean to you? What does it give you personally, Kat?
Well, you know, we have the idea that the world is a beautiful place, and it's super easy to complain about what's not nice. But then instead of continuing to complain about it, it's actually just as easy to get up and do something. And that's, I don't think we have to do it all. Not each and every one of us has to feel like, oh, what can I do? So I won't do anything because I can't do it all. But if we all do a little bit, then we can make the things that are not so nice in the world, we can make them better.
Yeah,
and it's always, it doesn't matter how small the step is, but if it's just a bus station, still, we heard from people who stopped by when we were painting that it makes people happy and it makes the world nicer. So I think we can all contribute, and that's, I think, the message that we want to get across.
Yeah, that's a superb message, and I really hope you still have success in finding ideal next stops. It doesn't always have to be a bus stop, it might be something else. But just one last question, how long did it take you?
Well, the substation over there, actually from the initial idea to outline something on paper and then buy paint and paint it, was about 24 hours to be alrightish done. And then we heard from other people, oh, can you not continue? And on the other side, that still looks not so nice. So then in the end, it took us a few days. This bus stop, so first the background has to dry, so it's a few hours and of scratching it nice, because you can't just simply paint over it. You have to first clean it, paint over it, let it dry, and then once again, about a day, and it was about done. But then again, more people stopped and gave us ideas for more things, and they said, how about some guinea fowls? And I would like to see a chameleon. So we did come back over and over again, sometimes also in the evenings, because we have full-time jobs. And I think about 2 half days and about 3 evenings.
Okay, still a lot of time, yeah.
Yeah. This one took us about, if you counted in weekends, this was about 2 weekends, and that one over there was about 4 or 5.
Sure, okay. Yeah, well, I hope you still spend a lot of weekends showing Windhoekers how to do it properly. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks for talking. Right, and that was Kat and Wynand who told us why they changed it and how the idea came to be. Obviously a very nice little story if we all in our little way do it. You will remember I showed you the photos on another show recently, but this is an interview now. We were able to get the idea of how they actually arrived at the conclusion to help others and in the process have some huge satisfaction. And they simply didn't leave it there. So if you look at these following photos here, you can see they did it to another bus stop not very far from there, one that is actually quite dilapidated, but they just lived with the idea and then just made it something different. Look at that little wooden frame there, as if you were looking outside. So really, really nicely done. And yeah, it's actually a shame that the city has not come to life and come to the party and said, you know what, why don't we invite all the schools? Why don't we invite all the youngsters and the people who are interested to actually help us revamp these bus stops? Wouldn't that be nice if all our bus stops suddenly looked like the ones that Kat and Wynand have revamped? Anyway, that's our show for today, and I hope you enjoyed the show. I'll be speaking or seeing you again next week, same time, and until then, look after yourself and stay well. Bye.